Let's talk consistency. We hear it literally everywhere. Every podcast, every motivational video, every self-help book, every motivational reel that has been served to you at like 11 p.m. at night, right before you're going to bed, when you're watching the person that has the life that you want. Consistency is the answer. Be consistent. Stay consistent. Consistency is the key. I mean, maybe we should just tattoo it on our foreheads at this point because it's literally everywhere. But the thing is, they're not wrong. It's just that no one's talking about the hard part of consistency because there is a whole other side to it. It's not as easy as just like, hey, just stay consistent. They don't talk about the times whenever life doesn't cooperate. The parts that happen whenever you're just having a really off week. The parts where you're doing literally everything right, but you still feel like your life is falling apart. And if you've been watching any of my videos, you will know that I'm currently in the midst of a 90-day glow up, which with that, consistency is the foundation of it. This week was genuinely a rough week. Mentally, emotionally, it just felt heavy, it felt hard, and I did not feel like showing up for a dang thing. Even though I felt that way, I leaned on the good habits that I built. And those habits literally carried me through this week when I felt so unmotivated and I felt so off. And that experience is exactly what made me want to sit down today and chat with you about consistency. And I don't want to talk about it in this way where it's all glamorized and it's this highlight reel. I want to talk about the nitty gritty consistency, the ugly side of it, because that is what I had to do this past week. And I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way because life happens to all of us and we all have to figure out how to still stay on track with our goals and with what we want without letting life come in and just throw us off whenever we're doing great, because that's not the way it is. If you keep doing that and let that happen, you're not going to get to achieve anything. We're going to talk about the 3 aspects of consistency that the self-help industry just conveniently leaves out. And once you hear these, you are going to see consistency in a way that just makes it click more than what it did before, because we're just going to talk about the realness of it and what it truly means to be consistent. Welcome back to your weekly girl check-in. Grab a notebook, grab a pen, get a cozy beverage, because we're about to talk about the things that we actually need to hear this week. This is your special place where we break through the noise in your head and we get really clear about what it is that's holding you back from the woman that we all know that you can be. And if you have not noticed already, our little surprise that I hinted to in last week's girl check-in about the customization I had coming for our microphone here came a little early. And as you can tell, it literally says the girl check-in. Like, how freaking cute. Do I need to get a little closer so you can see? So cute. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I was nervous it wasn't going to come out right, but it actually came out exactly how I wanted. So with that being said, let's go ahead, get your notes app open, click your pen, because get ready. We're about to get into the nitty gritty of consistency. So hopefully once you see these 3 aspects of it, you'll be able to diagnose and be able to pivot anytime you start to see these things show up in your own life. Also, with it being the mid-year, I did create a mid-year reset workbook from our last video, so I will leave that linked in the description box below and also pinned in the comments below. It's one of my favorite resets that I've done, so I will leave that there for you. It is completely free. Okay, so the first thing you have got to realize is your comfort zone is not your friend. I'm gonna say that one more time. Your comfort zone is not your friend. I know, do not roll your eyes. I can feel it through the screen. I can sense it. I feel it. I'm not about to tell you to go do something dramatic, like go quit your job or go skydiving. I'm talking about the kind of comfort that doesn't even feel like comfort anymore. It just feels like a Tuesday. Your comfort zone is your cage. Most people think prison has bars. It has locks. Someone physically keeping you there against your will. But the most dangerous prison looks like your couch. It looks like the life that isn't bad enough to leave, but also isn't good enough to stay excited about. And you've made it cozy in there. You've got your favorite comfort TV shows, your same Tuesday that you live every single week, and your little routines that just feel like home. And that's exactly what makes it so hard to leave. Because it doesn't actually feel like a cage. It feels like yours, but you're not unhappy enough to leave. You're just unhappy enough to go and scroll, to see someone living the life that you want, and you get that little sting of that could be me. And then you close the app, you go to bed, and you do the exact same thing the next day. And that sting isn't jealousy, babe. That is literally your higher self looking in through a glass, knocking, being like, hey, are you coming, or are you just gonna stay there? If this is what you're feeling, this is what's happening. Your nervous system has filed your current life under known and survivable. And anything else outside of that, like growth, being seen, change, risk, literally any of that is seen as a threat. And because of this, every single time you try to level up, your brain goes and like pulls the alarm. You get flooded with doubt, and your brain is just full of thoughts of like, who the heck do you think you are? And it's not because you're failing, it's because you're actually growing. And to your nervous system, failing and growing feel the exact same. Safe and stuck feel the exact same on the inside. And that is the trap. Your comfort zone is a cage. Your comfort zone is not protecting you. It is just a very, very convincing prison, and you've been holding the key the entire time. Okay, so this one is coming straight from what I experienced this week. Life is never going to be perfect. The off days are never going away. The hard weeks are not going to go away. The seasons where everything just feels heavy and feels hard, those aren't going away either. And if you are waiting for perfect conditions to stay consistent, girl, you're gonna have a long wait. You're gonna be waiting forever. And when this happens, I literally tell myself, just keep driving. Just keep driving, because this is a visual that I see in my head with consistency. So imagine that you are on a cross-country road trip. Your snacks are packed, you are locked in, and you are ready to go for this adventure. And then as you're driving, you're into the road trip, in the middle of nowhere, this storm just rolls in. Your visibility drops, it's very slow going. It is absolutely not the common peaceful drive that you had planned for. But at this point, you have two choices. You can pull over and wait for the perfect weather, which that could take hours, that could take days, that could take weeks. You genuinely don't know. Or you slow down, you adjust, and you just keep driving. Because the people who reach the destination are the people that didn't have the perfect weather the entire drive. They are just the ones that just kept driving through the storm. And that is what real consistency looks like. It's not the perfect conditions. It's the fact that you just keep freaking driving. Okay, Tums, I don't know if you can hear her. But as I was saying, I literally had a week where emotionally and mentally I was drained, and I just did not want to show up for anything, nothing, none of my habits. I didn't feel like it. And in the past, that just would have been my cue to just pause everything and wait until I felt better to just restart and, hit it hard again whenever I felt like it. But instead of doing that, I decided to just show up anyway. And most of those days this week, it wasn't my 100% and not even close. But that is okay, because some days giving 60% is your 100%. And the more and more that you do that, what happened to me will happen to you. And your good habits that you've instilled into yourself, that you lean on to feel some kind of normal, those will carry you through those storms. My routine did the heavy lifting because I've already done the work to build it. That is the whole point of consistency. You build it in the good weeks so that it can carry you in the hard ones. Life will always have a plot twist ready to go for you right whenever you feel like you're actually making traction and you feel like you're actually going somewhere. That's just how it works. But if you pull over and you restart every single time that happens, like, you're never going to truly make progress on any goal. Think about it like a TV show. If you're watching a season of a show and you make it to like episode 3, but you stop watching it, and every time you go to watch that show, you restart it back to episode 1, you're never going to actually finish the whole season. So you're restarting from the beginning every single time, whenever you literally could just pick up where you left off and keep going. And then actually make it somewhere further than what you did before. Every time you start over, you're subconsciously telling yourself that what you did didn't even matter before. That you have to earn your way back to where you already are. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That is literally exhausting. Like, no wonder you keep burning out. I know I did. So stop measuring your consistency by your perfection. Start measuring it by continuation. Did you keep going? Even if you showed up only at 60%, even whenever it's messy, even on that hard day whenever nothing felt right and it felt like everything was going wrong, did you show up in the best way you could anyway? And if you didn't, did you pick it right back up the next day? And if you did, then that is being consistent. Because remember, just keep driving. Some days the drive is smooth, the playlist is on point, the sun is shining. Some days there's a storm you can hardly see and you're going half the speed of what you had planned. Both days you are still moving forward, and both of those days still count. You don't need a perfect day to make progress. This is literally one of the most untalked about things in the self-help industry, and I really can't wrap my head around why, because I think it is so incredibly crucial in the process of growth and in staying consistent. Because this is the question you'll start to ask yourself is, what if you feel like you're inside, everything internally has changed, but you look around and literally nothing on the outside is different. It hasn't caught up yet. And then you're in this weird like in between where you're literally becoming who you want to be and the version of yourself that you desire, but your environment just doesn't reflect it. This is called the identity gap. And if you're in this right now, please hear me when I say this. You are not crazy, because it will make you feel crazy. You are literally in the hardest part of the process. And again, I cannot believe more people don't talk about this. This is what the identity gap feels like. So whenever you are in it, you can identify it. You've done the work. You have shifted your mindset. You see beyond your daily frustrations, the things that used to bother you and frustrate you. You see past them, almost to the point where they're more annoying now because you see how insignificant that they are. You know who you're becoming. You can see the success. You can literally feel it. You are locked the heck in. You think like her, you make decisions like her. You have genuinely outgrown the old version of yourself. But then you look around, your bank account still looks the same. You don't have the 6 figures in your bank account yet. And then this internal battle of like tug of war starts to happen where the new version of you is trying to show up every day through only seeing the evidence of the old version of yourself, and it makes it so freaking hard to show up. And whenever things around you don't feel like they've changed, it just feels like you're imagining this feeling and you're like, oh, well, maybe I'm just crazy, maybe I'm just feeling something that isn't even there. But you really are. You're feeling something that is real. This is literally what I went through when I was building this channel. I knew that this was what I was meant on this earth. This is what I was put on this earth to do, is to help people and to spread positivity and to be here to help change lives. And I still kept showing up even though the numbers did not validate that feeling. But I still, year after year, day after day, I have chosen to show up anyway because I know it's gonna happen. I had to choose to show up for a reality that hadn't even happened yet. I just had to believe that it will happen. So if you're doing the things, you're showing up to your workouts, you are showing up in your business, you are doing the things and you're not seeing the results yet, please keep going, because this identity gap is where so many people quit, and you're not like everybody else, okay? You are going to push through and you're not going to be like everybody else that quits in this identity gap, because this is where the growth really freaking happens. When you could push through even though you don't see the results yet, you have to believe that they're on the way because you're taking the action. Even massive action takes time to compound into massive results. The thing I've learned most about this identity gap is that your external reality is always going to lag behind your internal reality. Always. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It is literally a sign that it's working. It's how transformation starts. Think about whenever you plant a seed. You plant it, you water it, you show up every day, you take care of it, and for a while it looks like there's nothing happening above ground. But underneath the surface, there is so much happening. The roots are going way deeper than anybody can see. The foundation is being laid, and one day, not on your timeline. Everything will break through. The gap between who you've become on the inside and what your life actually looks like is actually like a construction zone. And construction zones are loud, they're uncomfortable, they're messy, but they mean that something is being built. Your only job in the identity gap is to show up as her anyway. Not when people are noticing and not whenever you see results, literally right now. Because your external world does not create your identity. Your identity creates the external world. There's just a little lag time between the two. So that is it for today's girl check-in. I really want you to understand these 3 aspects of consistency that I just, again, feel like no one really talks about. I'll put them on the screen here, so feel free to screenshot these and read them every day, or just whenever you feel like you are slipping or you feel like the world is just working against you and you're just trying to show up anyway. Hopefully these 3 aspects will help you push through and show up anyway, because if you can understand these 3 aspects of consistency, you are literally unstoppable. So I really hope this video helped you out. I hope it gave you the clarity that you needed. If it did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below so that I know, and it's just a very simple way to support the channel. With that being said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to catch you in the next video. Bye.